Hello everybody, this is Cheri at DJ Sundries, and today we are going to make another tag. Now the tag that we are going to make is a Christmas wreath tag, and it's using this die set from Tim Holtz. It's 664210, and there's a snowflake on it and there is a wreath on it. And we're going to be making the wreath, but with some minor modifications. So you'll notice that on the wreath there's a bow, and there's actually a bow die. I actually think it's 2 or 3 dies in the set to make this bow, but I chose not to use that. The other modification that I made is that in the berries, there are 4 clusters, or actually it looks like 5 clusters of berries in there, and I chose to just use 3. But I really like the way that it looks. So the first thing that you want to do is get your die pieces. So I have my die pieces all here, and this is a bunch of berries that were cut out. Now, again, these were cut out with the thought of doing the amount of berries on the wreath. So I have a lot of extra berries, and I've just put them in this extra jar that I found because I thought, well, you know, if I want to make more wreaths, I'll have it, or I could always use it for confetti for like a shaker card. So I decided, when I look at it, I said, okay, which part do I want for my berries? And I think I'm going to want to put my bow kind of down here where there's not as much, maybe right here. And then that gives me a little bit more flat surface for my berries. So I have my Gina K Connect glue, and I think Gina K has a lot of great products. But my favorite right now, and has been for a while, is the Connect Glue. And then you can buy these little bottles that she has. And this one, it looks like I need to refill. But you can buy these little bottles with this fine tip. And I have to tell you, it works so well exactly for this type of project where I'm wanting to put berries, little tiny dots in. It just works fabulously for a project like this. I have never had the tip clog. I have, sometimes you'll get some dry glue on the outside of the tip that I just pull off with my finger, and then I'm up and running again. So with these little berries that I have here, I have this little pick tool that I have. We cut them in 2 different cardstocks just to give it some variety. And if you own this die, you can look in the picture and you'll see that they also had a couple of different cardstocks in there for a little bit of variety. And the cardstocks that I chose, I had just some Recollections cardstock in kind of that cranberry, hollyberry color. But then I also had some Tim Holtz craft cardstock with the red color. So some of the berries have sparkle and some of the berries do not have sparkle and shine. And I just love the way that contrast is. It's subtle, and probably if you're not, you probably wouldn't even realize it unless you were looking closely, but I still like the way it looks, and I like that little bit of extra shine that it gives it. As far as the paper for the die cut itself, I just used some green paper that I had in my stash. I believe it was probably also Recollections. And then what I'm doing, as you can see, is I'm just putting little clusters of 3 berries right on there. And that's all the berries I'm putting. That was enough for me. Again, you could do more if you wanted, but that was all I wanted for my little wreaths. I'm going to set those aside so that I don't pick them up or drop them and end up with a mess. And then the next piece that I did is I did bows. I decided, rather than using the bow that came in the packet, I was just going to get some little organza type ribbon and make my own bows. So I made a bunch of tiny little bows to put on my wreaths, and then again stuck it down to dry. And that is the assembly of my wreath. Pretty simple there. Of course, you want that bow to dry so that you don't lose it. And you can put something heavy on it for a little bit to dry, but be careful because it is organza. The glue might seep through. So that is the wreath part of our tag. And now the next part is actually assembling the tag. So I have pre-prepped this tag. And again, stamping to and from on the back. This is a little bit larger tag. I believe this is probably a number 5 craft tag. And to pre-prep it, I took a little bit of gouache and put it down on my palette and sprayed some water to thin it out. And then I just splattered it on the tag because I felt that like it needed just that little bit of extra dimension. And then all I'm going to simply do is, again, this is where this fine tip is so wonderful. I am just going to go in at areas where I can put the glue without causing a lot of seepage and put little tiny bows. Man, I don't know if I'm gonna, I may run out of here before let me grab some. I forgot to refill my bottle, but I'll be careful with this. So again, just put little dabs of glue. You can see this is a little bit more challenging with the bigger tip, but little dabs of glue in flatter, fuller areas. You want to be careful. Like I know, like this one's at the bottom, so that one will be fine. This one's at the top. This one's at the bottom, so I know that will be on the tag. But on the sides, there will be a little bit of overhang. So I want to be careful that I don't have glue at the overhang. Otherwise, I'll be gluing my tag to my surface, my work surface, and it will remain sticky. So now I'm just going to simply press that down and go back and make sure that bows. It's being a little booger there, but it will hold once it's had a little bit of time. And you may want to do like this and go ahead and wait to put your bow on until after your tag is already adhered to your tag, or to your die and tag have adhered to each other. So there we have the front of the tag. And I just love the way you could stamp Merry Christmas or whatever you wanted on there. I just like the way that that finishes off just like that. So then I have some of the same ribbon here, and I'm just going to go in and tie a quick little bow at the top. And I know that's kind of matchy-matchy. I think another fun thing would be if you had like a plaid or a buffalo plaid or some kind of a little printed ribbon at the top. That would also be pretty. It would be less matchy-matchy. But this is what I had in hand for this one. I actually bought the ribbon for this one because I like the width, and I was thinking that I would want them to go together. So when I'm tying the bows into the top like that, I almost always leave it attached to my piece, or to my little spool, just so that I have less waste. So there we have this tag. About bulk producing, is this one bulk producible? Absolutely. Just like most of the tags in this series, it's not going to be a fast bulk produce, but it's definitely one that you can bulk produce and do many tags if you choose to. Again, this is, you compartmentalize your crafting. You cut your dies, you sort them out, and you just do one step at a time, and so that you can do a complete step. In fact, I did about 50 of these. And when I did these, I laid all of my tags flat on a covered surface, and I splattered all 50 of them at the same time, just so that they could quickly dry. But I wasn't taking the time to individually splatter every single tag. So I hope you enjoyed this one. I have to say, every time I do one, not every time, some of them I have liked better than others, but a lot of the times when I've done them, I've thought, oh, that's my favorite one so far. This one, I think, may be one of my favorite ones, just because it just reminds me of simple rustic Christmas. So I hope you give this a try. Thanks so much for stopping by today. And remember, take some time to enjoy the little things. Have a great day. Bye.